Hi everyone, my name is Mark and this is episode 7 of My Daddy Diary. Jumping right in, last week we had the visit from the health visitor who checked her weight, checked her length and checked her head circumference and also just give her a once over to make sure everything is going okay, and I'm really pleased to say that everything is spot on. She now weighs 11 pounds and 1 ounce. Her head circumference was 38 centimetres and her length was 58 centimetres. So all three of those numbers are exactly where they should be. They give you a really cool little graph to show you roughly where they will be in terms of their weight and so on, and their height and their head, and all three are exactly where they should be. What was quite interesting or alarming for us was that the weight she's at is literally just over what Lisa's previous surrogacy journey baby was at birth. So, and the same for the head circumference as well, it's almost exactly the same. So basically, Lisa's previous surrogacy journey was a baby the size of Sophie at 6 weeks, which when I looked at her, I was like, ow! And I don't even do that bit, obviously. But wow, it's still remarkable to me how women do all of that. Like, it's incredible what the human body can do, particularly for women and their giving birth capabilities. Absolutely incredible. We also submitted our paperwork for the Parental Order, or the PO, which I'm going to be talking a lot about, I imagine, in over the course of the months until it's all done and dusted. There was a bit of not a mix-up, but there was a confusion over where we had to go because we were told to go to our family court. So we went to our local one and they were like, oh no, but we don't deal with family court issues here. They're dealt with over in another town, and so you need to go there. Long story short, we ended up sending off all the documentation, and I'm one of these that I hate sending official documents. I would rather hand them in personally, especially when they've got, it's not so much the form that I'm bothered about, it's the fact that we've got Sophie's birth certificate in there and we've got our marriage certificate in there, and obviously they are the only copies of those we've got. So I get paranoid about things getting lost. It happens from time to time. Obviously we sent it recorded delivery, so we know it got there safe, but you just don't know what's going to happen. So now we just wait to see what happens next, really. I'm assuming we'll get a letter to confirm that they're organising a hearing, or I'm not entirely sure what the next step is, really. So, hey, you'll learn with me. This will be great. The other thing I was going to mention this week, and I have gone on about it a few times, is sleeping, because Sophie has had a little bit of a cold this week. She's been very snuffly. You can hear that she's quite blocked up. And so she's sleeping okay for the most part. She has her moments. She's sleeping fine, but you may remember that I mentioned about the noises she was making when she was sleeping. That's increased sort of tenfold over the last week because she is a little bit bunged up, and I'm not the best sleeper when it comes to noise. It's really unusual. I can sleep with a TV on, but I'm not good with kind of repetitive sounds. So I know some people really love to use things like white noise. Drives me insane, and I just lay there and I can't sleep. Any kind of repetitive thudding or ticking, even clocks can annoy me sometimes. I struggle to get through that one. Even to the point we have a Ewan, the sheep that everyone loves, and he is incredible. He helps get her to sleep, but the sound that it makes, there's different sounds, and I've tried the different sounds and each of them just drive me crazy. So what I have to do is put her to bed, put Ewan on, and then I'll go and leave the room, which I would do anyway to let her settle, but I have to then wait until he's finished doing his sound. And at the moment we've got, because she can take a little while, we've got him on like a half-hour setting, and 9 times out of 10 she'll go on that first sort of 30 minutes, but there have been occasions where we have to put it on again, so that's, you're talking an hour before I'll then come back into the room to try and sleep myself. And then if she is making loads of noise, it just writes me off for sleep. And I'm not the best napper anyway. I've never been good at just, I'll get 2 hours here and 2 hours there. I'm a go to bed, sleep and wake up. Because whenever I have a nap, I end up waking up feeling really groggy or like just really irritated because I've not had a full amount of sleep. For me, it's almost better for me to just stay up, and worry about it the following night. Obviously you can't do that when you're doing the Sunday through to Thursday night, because that would mean not sleeping every day. So I'm getting by on about 2 hours sleep most nights at the moment. Again, last night, for example, we got her off to bed. She went down like a dream. It was absolutely fantastic. I got into bed. She woke up almost immediately because we put her down earlier in the night. She woke up almost immediately. She had a feed and went straight back down. It was absolutely fantastic. So then I was able to get into bed. I laid there for a good hour and a half, but the noise that she was making, I was finding myself getting more and more anxious about it and not being able to sleep. And I'm conscious of the fact that in another hour or so, she's going to be waking up for her next feed. So I'm like, I need to get some sleep here. So in the end, I had to go out of the room. I had the baby monitor with me and just keep coming back and forth and checking on her, really, because I wasn't sleeping. By which point then, you know, when you get to a point where you just like say, I can't sleep now. I was almost forced myself awake again. So I ended up staying up right the way through the night. I'm hoping tonight might be a little bit better. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, in terms of sleeping, she's doing great. It's been very challenging for me, I'm not going to lie, but it's part of the learning experience, I guess, and I'll get used to it. At some point in the future, who knows, I've heard so many different stories, she'll start sleeping all the way through and we'll be able to leave her in the nursery on her own and all of those kind of things. So I know this isn't as tough as it is at times. It's not permanent, it's not forever. I just have to keep reminding myself that because then I don't feel quite so anxious about it. Sophie is 7 weeks old now, and looking at the My Wonder Weeks app, she is actually already in her second neurological leap, because that's actually worked out from the original due date. Pretty much, I think the idea is that if you calculate it all from the conception, because obviously their brain is developing regardless of whether they're in there or out here. So it's a certain point. So she's already on that 7.5 weeks since the original due date. So she's in her second neurological development leap, which obviously is going to bring its own set of challenges this week. So far, it's not really been an issue. Last week was a slightly quieter week for us. Mark was working from home on one of the days, or 2 of the days, which was really helpful. He was obviously home for the health visitor, and then he had like a night shift, so his pattern was different. He was at home a bit more, which was absolutely wonderful, because it meant, again, we can share the load a little bit more, which is always appreciated. So we did have a quite a week. One thing I did this week that I'm so excited about, I started buying some of her little like Christmas outfits and things like that, and I think nearer the time I'll do a little video of all the various bits and pieces that we got for her first Christmas, because there are some really, really adorable. I'm a huge Christmas fan. I absolutely love Christmas, and obviously this is her first. She's not going to remember any of it, but I will, and I want this to be the most incredible, most magical Christmas. So I'm going to be buying lots and lots of different Christmas bits for her, and of course I will put together a video nearer the time, like I say, of kind of like a Christmas haul and where we got stuff from to share with you. That pretty much covers everything for this week. So as always, thank you for watching and sharing and liking and all the other stuff. Thank you for being part of our journey, and I'll see you next week. Bye.